Day 7. Walking in the market in the old city.
Got your back.
Today we're in the Jewish Quarter, the Herodian Quarter, the War Museum, which is located here in the old city. This is a house where the person that lived here in the old city started excavating underneath his house and came across some ruins from biblical times. It seems to be a priest's house from the time of Christ. So we're going to go down and check it out and see what they have to offer.
These are Canaanite gods that were found in pretty much every house in Jerusalem before the Babylonian exile. So you see the Asherah, the Canaanite fertility god in the back, and then these horse-looking figures are sun gods. After the Israelites returned to Jerusalem after the Babylonian exile, they found none of these idols in the houses, so the people learned their lesson. These are oil lamps, and actually what Marilyn was saying is that if you don't continue to refill these lamps with oil, the wick burns the residual oil in the clay, and they heat up so hot that they burst and break. It's kind of an object lesson for continually refilling ourselves with fresh oil from the Lord so that we don't burn out.
This would have been like a living room for the family with the mosaic floor. The rest of the floor was destroyed in a fire during the Roman conquering in 70 AD. But these tables were the first ever found from the Second Temple period of whole furniture pieces.
What a bathroom might have looked like. This is the bathtub, the mosaic floor, and mosaic floors were common wherever water was. No images anywhere in this house, another sign of just how religious the people who lived here were. So right here on the walls, you see Pompeian red paint, very, very popular in Jerusalem before 70 AD, before it was destroyed. So this actually tells us that the people who lived here were very wealthy. Here's an example of a mikveh, a ceremonial washing place. And so there's one in these excavations under the Vol Museum, and I'm assuming this is one for the men or the women, and then this is the other one. So there's two separate ceremonial washing places.
People come, we don't care what they wear. Yeah, it's like.
So we're going into the Jerusalem Archaeological Park. This is the southern excavations of at the southern wall of the Temple Mount. We're at the southern excavations of the wall, and you can see the Mount of Olives right here. So Temple Mount up here.
Of the western wall, looking here, we're at the end of the western wall. If we could burrow along this area, you would land up at the Wailing Wall, or the Western Wall area you were at the other night, okay? So it's all the same wall. People have, drilled holes later. They made an indentation to make clay pipes, but all of that is much, much later. Originally, these were beautiful Herodian stones. How can you tell it's Herod? It's this beautifully drafted margin around the whole thing with the center embossed, okay? So it's out, sticks out. And it allowed the stones to be put one on top of another and match up exactly. As a matter of fact, they're so close that you actually can't slip a paper between them. They're really very, very close.
This is called Robinson's Arch right here, and this was a staircase leading down right here. So it was leading up to Herod's temple. Everything below that on the wall is Herod's construction. Everything above that is kind of a mishmash of different periods of time. And you see ruins right here. They left the ruins of that staircase. So that when they excavated, the ruins would have been all along this wall. Picture of what the arch looked like in the 1st century. Where I'm standing right now is actually under the staircase. It was a Roman road that went under the staircase. And actually right here are columns. So right in front of me that held up the staircase. And you see there are 4 cubicles here, and they actually had shops in the columns. So people could walk along this road under the staircase and do their shopping. These are ruins of the stones from the staircase leading down from Robinson's Arch, so you can see just how massive this staircase was. And it was knocked down by the Romans in 70 AD when they came in and destroyed Jerusalem, and they didn't want to burn it, so they just knocked down the staircase. Thanks. So we're at the western wall, where the western wall meets the southern wall of the Temple Mount, and this was all constructed by Herod. And you see right here at the corner how important the cornerstones of the wall were. And at the foundation, the cornerstones set both the horizontal and the vertical course for the entire wall. So when Jesus says, "I am the chief cornerstone," this is very significant because Jesus sets both our horizontal relationship with other people and our vertical relationship with God. Here's a picture of the Hulda Gates in the time period of Jesus. You see the 2 arches and the 3 arches. The 2 arches is the entrance and the 3 arches is the exit. Then there's a house from the Byzantine period, the Umayyad Palace, Robinson's Arch where we just were, and then the Herodian Street that goes under that arch. And we were just right in that location. Now I am panning down to a model of the temple in the time period of Jesus. This is Herod's temple. That pink dot is where we just were, Robinson's Arch and the Herodian Street. Then beyond, north of that yellow dot, is the Hulda Gates, where we're going to be going here in a couple minutes. So now we have a overhead shot of this model. You see just how large the Temple Mount is compared to the rest of the city of Jerusalem. It's about the size of 18 soccer fields. I'm standing here and I'm a large group of people listening to worship music, worshiping right where we know Jesus. Praise your name, Yeshua. Jesus, Savior of the world. Name above all names, blessed Redeemer.
God says, I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters will prophesy. Your young men will see visions. Your old men will dream dreams. And on my men servants and maid servants, I will pour out my spirit in those days. Therefore, let all the house of Israel know assuredly that God has made this Jesus, whom you crucified, both Lord and Christ. They were cut to the heart, or literally pierced to the heart. And this phrase appears only here in the New Testament. It means to stab, and it depicts something that is sudden and unexpected. They came under the conviction of the Holy Spirit. they realized that they had played a part.